Yes, yes, yes. You are in tune to. Damn, where's that coming from? Where's that sound coming from? Boom. Well, I guess that was just a sound check, an impromptu sound check. So let's get this show started for real. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. You are in tune to Ask Rick. And we got no time to mess about today. We got no time to mess around today. We jumping straight into it, and in comes the man like Rick Glaser. Rick, how do you do?
Good, Ralph. Glad I could be on again this week, of course, and enjoying my stay with you. Today could only be an hour. I've got to retire. My wife and I have a retirement party to go to this evening, and I'm never late for anything. So we got to be there on time. It starts at 6, and I got to be there at 6 at my time, which is 5 o'clock. I have to get off at 5 today, which is 1 hour. So let's get rolling right to it, Ralph. Come on now, bring them on, Ralph. Make it happen.
We got no time. Got no time to mess about today. We're going straight into it. No messing around. But of course, we got to do the formalities. We have to put in the name of the show, and the name of the show is, as you well know by now, it's Ask Rick. And for anybody who's not been here before, this is where we're joined by none other than Rick Glaser, and we talk all things boxing, and it's a weekly show every week right here on Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. We got Rick normally for 2 hours. Today it's 1 due to other commitments, and that's the way it goes, but we're still bringing it to you. We're still bringing it. So without much further ado, let's get straight into it. Let me mute myself and bring Rick back in.
This show is 2 hours a week. I'm cutting it short for an hour. And she said, you're only going to give you an hour to talk. I said, well, it's because of the retirement party. I said, honey, I think I want to start a show about sex. She goes, how come? I said, what I know about sex, the show will only be 10 minutes long a week. What the hell?
Okay, Rick. We might have to start calling this show The Confessions of Rick. But without much further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, I think we're going to go with the Teofimo talk. We got to talk about Teofimo. What's going on with Teofimo?
Bob Arum offered him $1,250,000. His biggest prior payday was $400,000. So Bob's on the money there. I mean, everybody's talking about one thing, that they say it's light, it's not enough. Blah blah blah. Okay, well let me give you the statistical facts. Not only is there no attendance, no fans allowed. There's no site fees from a casino. There's no casino financial participation. Okay, there's no commercial distribution because nobody's going to bars and nightclubs to watch boxing right now, because you're not going to bars and nightclubs at all, because most of them are closed right now because of the COVID. Okay, you have less sponsorship revenues because the economy's bad. You have no merchandise sales because no fans are going to be there to buy any merchandise, and you're not going to sell any online because the economy's bad. And your foreign TV sales are going to be down because it's a worldwide economy, and we have a worldwide recession right now, basically speaking, and they don't have the sponsors to pay the premium dollars. So you're basically saddled with two incomes, which is going to be either or pay-per-view or TV, okay? Or, well, the ESPN Plus could put it on the app, which they're probably going to do. But it's going to be there's one income there between the three of them. Then they're going to have some limited sponsorship money and some limited foreign TV money, but limited. All those reductions in those costs, Okay, and those revenues, plus the additional costs of COVID testing, the procedures and protocols surrounding it, including additional hotel rooms. Everybody's got to get their own hotel room. There's no sharing anymore for fight camps. They got to eat separately from the general public and private. Everything, all those things cost about $240,000 to show. Me doing the math, it's $27,000 alone just for the testing for if there's 6 fights on the show. So you have a real situation here that people aren't taking into consideration. The problem is that the Teofimo and his camp had pie in the sky eyes. It's called pie. I call pie in the sky eyes. And they were looking at the pre-pandemic when this fight was talked of back in December and January. Well, came March, things changed. The world changed, and now it's not worth $2.5 million. It's worth $1,250,000. And I back Bob Arum 100% on this matter. Okay, and I would if I was the advisor to the fighter, I'm not. I have no association with Teofimo. I've never even met the man. I would have to sit down and look at him straight in the eye and show him all the revenues that are reduced and all the additional expenses. It's a funny thing. The other guy, Loma, is taking less money than is guaranteed in his contract just to do the fight because he understands the math. Okay, so I really believe that it's a shame, but it doesn't look like this fight's going to happen right now.
OMG. That's the way. It's a shame, but it don't look like it's going to happen. I have to concur with that. There's no way I see this happening. So the root of this, I can't remember if we talked about this last week, but it's an ongoing story. So the root of this, I mean, my take on this situation is that Teofimo should not have been fighting Lomachenko anyway. He just won the belt. And what you should do when you just win the belt is have to at least around a couple. You should have a couple of defenses to get your name out there as a champion. So it was ill-advised in the first place. I put it to you, Rick Glaser. It was ill-advised.
I tweeted it out the other day. He may be unrealistic in his demands, or he's making his demands so high because he thought about it, doesn't really want to fight anymore. And he priced himself so far out that he did it intentionally. It's one of the two. It doesn't have any choice. You understand? Either he's not in reality or he's in reality that he shouldn't be fighting him. It's one of the two. I don't know. But no matter which one, it's not good because no matter which one, the fight's not going to happen. That's the bottom line. It will not happen. I'm not saying it won't happen eventually, but it will not happen in the timely fashion that everybody anticipated back in December and January that it was going to happen. And the funny part about it is I heard that they didn't think that Aaron was going to renegotiate the deal based on the original numbers they were talking about. And, like there was no need, well, why are they going to renegotiate? Well, of course they're going to renegotiate. It's totally different. We're in the COVID era right now, and it isn't pretty. So that's my take on the whole thing.
Okay. Yes. You are in tune to Boxing Talk with Raphie and Ask Rick. 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. over there on the East Coast, and 1 p.m. on the West. Well, actually 5 past the hour. We're into it. We're going fast. The show is going to be a 1-hour show today because extenuating circumstances, commitments. So we're cracking on, we're banging on. We've got no time to tarry. And with that said, let's go straight over. Well, which one am I doing? Am I going to go to? Yeah, I think I'm going to go to the Paulie Malignaggi story. So let's get straight into the Paulie Malignaggi. Let me rearrange my screen, or actually let me pass over to Rick. Rick, your observations on the Paulie Malignaggi firing.
I know that you guys are not good at announcing names other than Jones and Williams, and Smith and Johnson over there, and Heaton and those kind of names. But over here in America, it's pronounced Malignaggi. Malignaggi. So, on Paulie Malignaggi, what can you say? He wore out his existence after 8 years at Showtime. He's been an excellent announcer for them as far as his knowledge and being an analyst. But the things he said outside of the box, regularly putting down Wilder, basically calling him a bum. You can do that if you're self-employed like me. You can't do that if you're Paulie Malignaggi, working for Wilder's overall television guy, and then Heyman put him in, and Wilder's with Heyman, so it was pretty ugly. They blamed it on race, that he said some racial things that were out of line, insensitive. Let's see, whatever you want to call it, insensitive. But I don't. You know what? I think it was a nucleus of things over a period of time, and they were looking for an excuse to get rid of him. And I think that interview in the UK on a podcast back in April got him hung got him hung. It's over. I mean, people, you can't go keep defending the guy time in and time out, or letting him get away with the stuff he got away with. You just can't do that, And I can criticize that Wilder as much as I want, because I'm not relying on Showtime or Al Heyman to make a living. But in the meantime, he is, and adios he went, and it was his own doing. Now, he did have a contract, so he's not performing his services, but he does get paid. So it depends which way you look at it. Now he gets paid for doing nothing. So it depends which way you look at it. When his contract.
Uh-oh. Rick's frozen on us, folks. Rick's frozen on us. You froze for the last sentence, Rick. You froze for the last sentence, so I'm gonna cut myself and bring you.
I think after his contract actually ends, he'll end up with the Zone or somebody like that. He won't end up at ESPN. That I'll tell you. He might end up with the Zone.
Well, he's already got a side gig. He's already got a side gig with Sky over here in the UK. So maybe he can get more time with Sky.
Yeah, I don't think that Sky TV I don't think Sky will say anything about what he said, because they're not tied in with Wilder. That's my big thing. I think it was all the things he said about Wilder, and I think that they used the race thing as the scapegoat. So that's what I think.
Well, apparently, sorry to interrupt, but apparently, I saw an article that said that there was a whole litany of issues surrounding Paulie Malignaggi, however you pronounce it, including while he was on duty for Showtime, spitting at a fan. So if you're working at McDonald's, Rick, and you decide that you don't like somebody says something you don't like, and you decide to do a little hawk, over to you.
Yeah, pretty ugly. Let's leave it at that. The whole thing is ugly.
Let's leave it at that. There was more to it than was reported in the press. It wasn't just a question of Wilder, or wasn't a question of race. It was a question of general overall poor behavior. So that's my take on it. Hold on a sec, Rick. What did you say, Rick?
Overall indiscretions.
Yes. And we're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. So let's crack on with it, and let's get to a question from the chat. Remember, folks, the name of the show is Ask Rick. So get your questions in. We got 1 hour to blast this thing out. So straight away, let's get to one from the chat. And this is from the notorious Dixon Siders. And the question is, Rick, who was the hardest hitting boxer ever?
Well, I'm gonna define it two different ways: overall pound for pound and heavyweights, separating the two. I would have to say, by what everybody says, Ernie Shavers as a heavyweight, because Foreman, Ali said he hit harder than Foreman, and I would think it was Ernie Shavers in the heavyweight division, and I would have to rank Julian Jackson right up there with the best of the heavyweights of the non heavyweights. I would think Julian Jackson. Now I'm gonna preference that a little bit because Julian Jackson never beat a top guy. He beat Terry Norris when he was a Tyro back in like '91. But not when Terry was at the top of his game. He was too inexperienced then. But he never knocked out a top guy. All second-rate guys. When he was in with the top guys, he got knocked out. Gerald McClellan twice. So I don't know, but it would seem to me, Julian Jackson. Now, today, the prior era here, Edwin Valerio probably was an equal, and I would say Inouye is equal today. So I would think those three guys, and I judge by two categories: heavyweight gets one, and pound for pound gets the other ones. Okay. Classes.
Okay. So yeah, that's a good way to split them up. The heavyweights and the pound for pound. I like it. And who's this? This is Andre back up in the building. Raphie and Rick, the dynamic duo. Absolutement. And Andre said, did you see F.A. Ajagba signed with Top Rank? I know that Andre left a question earlier. He wanted to talk about it. Was it some poaching? What's going on, Rick?
Richard Schaefer couldn't do anything for couldn't do enough for him. Minimums in his contracts. PBC, they wanted Heyman to have a piece of him. The kid refused to sign with Heyman. It was a natural progression to move on away from Shelley Finkel and Richard Schaefer and Al Heyman. Number one. Number two is, even though he technically signed in the last 24 hours, he's been signed as soon as he signed with James Prince. You knew he was going to Top Rank. Because every single fighter that James Prince promotes automatically goes to Top Rank. It's automatic. So I mean, it's automatic as the sun coming up in the morning if it's not going to rain. You know what I'm saying? So it's automatic. So we knew that weeks ago. It was just officially signed and officially announced. That's all.
Excellente. Monique up in the building. Hi, Raphael and Rick. Hello, Monique. Nice to have you up in here. Excellente. We're doing a quick one today. Rick flexing his muscles over there. Okay. So, Dame. I might as well get this one in before I forget it. It's an interesting one. Ken Buchanan, one of the best fighters ever out of the UK. If you don't know him, folks, go look him up. Unfortunately, it looks like there's some dementia going on. For a long time, he had a drink issue, and now he's after the COVID or during the COVID era. Now apparently he deteriorated and is now in a home. There's some degeneration of the mental issue. Keeps on happening in boxing. I also hear it's a two-parter then, because we're strapped for time. It's a two-parter. I also hear that Riddick Bowe, Big Daddy Bowe, financially, he ain't in a good place. I heard stories of him sleeping in gyms. I don't know what's going on, Rick. I don't know what's going on.
going to the Ken Buchanan thing, also consider he's 75 years old. So the fact that dementia or Alzheimer's is stepping in now wouldn't surprise me. He didn't get hit a lot. Okay, actually, he didn't get hit a lot as a fighter. He's pretty slick. Great boxer. Got beat by Duran. A great fighter. Doesn't look promising, but he is 75 years old. He hasn't fought since the 70s. So you can't really blame that on boxing. That came out in recent years, and it happens. He's 75, so and he's had drinking issues, like you said, a little accumulation of everything. I'm sure age, the drinking, boxing a little bit, but I couldn't blame that on boxing. As far as Riddick Bowe goes, he's been in the same shape financially. He's been in quite a while. Same thing. He blew his money. What can I say? I mean, and he's got no value in the card signing category, like let's say a Tyson would, or even a Holyfield would. He doesn't have that kind of value, so he's in trouble. And he's not like Michael Moore. Michael Moore is like a real classy guy and shakes hands, and he's very unassuming, even though he's well built. Still, he's not fat. Riddick Bowe's like a big slug. You know what I'm saying? And the appearance is not good. Where Michael Moore gets invited to all kinds of functions, and he's normal. He's a very nice guy. He's well spoken. I consider Michael a friend. Riddick Bowe is sort of like an unruly guy. He's the type of guy, if you invited him, you hope he didn't show up. So I think that.
OMG. Just Rick just spitting it. Rick just spitting it out, telling it like he sees it. And that's why he's here. And that's why we like him. Tells it like he sees it. Okay. Didn't hear a word you just said, Rick.
I didn't say anything.
Hey, so let's get over to where are we? Who is the best 140 in your guys' opinion? Who's the best at 140?
Are you talking about right presently or all time? I'll go by present and right now. I would say by track record and longevity and track record, I'd say Jose Ramirez slightly over Josh Taylor. Not saying that Josh Taylor wouldn't beat him, but because that's a toss-up fight. But you can't argue that Ramirez has had a long title, bunch of title defenses now. They're both unified champs, but the output that Ramirez has, and Ramirez is an excellent boxer too. Don't forget, he was an Olympian also. So the pedigree is there for both guys. I would say they're almost equal, but I would give Ramirez a little better because I know he's got a great chin. I mean Hooker could punch, and Hooker hit him on the chin, and all he did is just kept walking in. He snorted once and went back to throwing punches. So I'd have to say Ramirez, but if they fought, I would think it'd be pretty even, especially style-wise, because Taylor's like slick.
Yes. It's between the two of them. Me personally, my money's on Taylor. It's very close. I agree. It's very close. Just like Rick said, it's a toss of a coin, but I'd have it 55% in favor of Taylor. Hopefully that fight happens soon. But anyway, let's get over to one of mine. Okay, so Reese Alim says my next fight will be for a world title.
No, I don't see that.
Oh, okay. That was short and concise. Nada, not happening. Don't think so. Okay, so one of mine, Leo Santa Cruz, says no one is giving me a shot to beat Gervonta Davis. What say you, Rick?
I don't see Gervonta Davis making 130, and I think they're going to give him $1 million, 500,000 extra or something like that. And he won't, if it's like at 133, he won't have a prayer. If he gets down to 130, he might have a prayer, because the other guy, if he gets down to 130, won't have anything left in the tank. So get it, left in the tank. So I don't know. It depends what Gervonta Davis shows up, how much he weighs.
Yes. Which Gervonta? Can he get down to 130? A lot of people are doubting that. I doubt it myself. It's going to be an interesting thing. Anyway, why is he dropping down to 130 after he's gone up to 135? What's the logic behind that?
Santa Cruz didn't want to fight him at 35, too big, and he wouldn't have a prayer at 35. So at 30, he's got a prayer, because the other guy is tough to make the weight. Both titles are on the line, so I don't see Gervonta coming in at 130 pounds. I think it's a scam. I think he's going to weigh 33, 34, or 35 and say, fuck it.
OMG. Let's go to one of mine, then we'll come back to one in the chat. Get your questions in, folks. No time to tarry. Okay, so what we're looking at here? Okay, this one made me laugh. Okay, so as you may have heard, as you may have seen on Instagram, Andy Ruiz is getting the training in, and it's going very well. It looks like he's trimmed down again. Manuel Cha says my promoter is to hold meetings with Andy Ruiz. Manuel Cha versus Andy Ruiz. Rick Glaser.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, so the question is, Manuel Cha says his promoter is going to be having talks with Andy Ruiz. Cha's got some kind of WBA, one of those secondary belts, and that will be on the line. Over to you, Rick Glaser. What say you? Rick, can you hear me? Uh-oh. I think Rick has frozen. In fact, I'm pretty sure he has. I can't hear no echo, no reverb from my mic, and both mics are unmuted. So looks like Rick Glaser is going to have to drop off and come back in again. Keep your questions coming on in. We'll let Rick Glaser drop off and then come back in. Sure, he's going to do it in a second. Okay, as far as that's concerned, as far as that story is concerned, might as well get it up on the screen. Or do we get it up on the screen? Might as well. Let's do this. Let's get it up on the screen until we get Rick Glaser returns. Let's share the story. Boom. Okay, so where are we? You see it? Yes. Okay, so Manuel Cha, my promoter is to hold meeting on Andy Ruiz fight. Okay, you can see that. Okay, so WBA regular heavyweight champion Mahmoud, it's calling himself Manuel now. Manuel Cha is still pressing to make a defense of his title against former Unified King Andreas the Ponce Ruiz. Okay, I think as Rick Glaser's come back.
Sorry, it froze up. I couldn't get back in. Okay.
No problemo. So the question is, what do you think of Manuel Cha's prospects to get his wish to put his WBA regular on the line against a fight in a bout with what's his name? Oh yeah, Andreas the Ponce Ruiz.
rumors abound that Manuel Char can't get in the U.S., so it would have to be overseas. That's the rumor I've heard from multiple sources. I don't know if it's true, but I don't know. That fight can happen because there's money there to fight Ruiz, and Emmanuel Char's he's got the red high heels on, so there's no question. For Char, because he's going to defend his title on September 26th against what's his name? He'll be the mandatory for that title. So I don't know if Ruiz happens unless Don King's getting paid or there's some kind of agreement where King steps aside for a fee, him and the kid step aside for a fee, and then they agree to a purse that if Andy Ruiz wins, how much they'll get for the next fight automatically, where they're not negotiating, where everybody's in line before it happens.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so it's possible that fight could happen. It's not the craziest idea. It's not the craziest idea. So let's go to the next. Any news on Regis Prograis' next opponent?
No, I have heard nothing at all. Nothing concrete. A lot of words being thrown around, but names, but nothing that's even worth talking about. I've heard 20 different names. 10 of them make sense. 10 don't make sense. Who knows who's even going to promote his next fight? Nobody knows too much right now.
Yeah, still in the dark. Still in the dark on that one. Who's going to promote it? Who's going to be his promoter? We don't. The water's very muddy over there. The water's very, very muddy. So which one we looking at? Which one we looking at? Okay, so Bob Arum says it would have been wrong to drop Oquendo as Herring's opponent.
Bob's right about that. You can't blame Oquendo. What happened to Herring would make it would make no sense. So it wouldn't be fair to Oquendo. Oquendo didn't do a thing wrong. Herring's failed 2 tests. Herring's a great guy. There's no bad people here. Shit happens. He'll get his shot. Oquendo. Bob's a man of his word. He'll get his shot.
Bob's a man of his word. He'll stick to his word. He'll do what's right. Okay, so Conlon says touche. Excuse the pronunciation. Will be a tough fight, but I do believe I will stop him.
I missed what you said. I'm sorry.
Conlon said touche will be a tough fight, but
Conlon can fight. I don't know who he's stopping, but he can fight. And anything can happen. He's left-handed. He's a good little fighter. He's strong. He's in great shape. And there's no negativities attached to him. Between MTK and Top Rank, and then MTK as his manager, great combination. Got good people behind him, great people behind him. It's all ready to go. It's I think he'll win a world title myself.
Excellente. What does this one say? Uncle Burnt Apostrophe is up in the building, and he says, do you think Bricktop, I think he's referring to Frank Warren, do you think Bricktop's proposal is bullish? If you haven't heard his proposal, Bricktop is talking about
I know all about the proposal. I think it's a great idea for UK boxing, and for world boxing in reality, because it would be a lot of evenly matched fights, and I think it's something that they can do with all those fighters that they have in the same weight classes at the same times in their careers. They could do 6 shows out of all those fights, maybe 8 shows. They could almost do a show a month for a year. Okay, including guys that are 6-round fighters and 8-round fighters fight each other. They could go for a year, once a month. I mean, it's great for boxing. It doesn't get any better than that. So, and I think what they should do is they should have one show every other month on BT, okay, and then one show on the Sky, and go from there. I think there's no negativity there. You know, you divide the two promoters, divide the revenues up 50-50 and the expenses and the net revenue, and everybody's happy. It's a great win-win situation. The problem is Frank Warren's a much better boxing guy than Eddie, and Eddie will think he's getting outsmarted because he knows that Frank's a legendary boxing guy, like a Mickey Duff type guy, where Hearn's more or less, let's throw shit against the wall and hopefully it sticks. Different kind of mentality.
I knew you was gonna come out with something against Hearn, Rick. I knew it was coming. I
like Eddie Hearn. Okay, I think he's great for boxing in the UK. He's done nothing over here so far. Nothing. It shows his rating, his buys rate and eyeballs on his DAZN shows are dismal, from what I understand, and Oscar shows are doing much better. He's a great promoter in the UK. He has yet to prove himself in the United States.
Yeah, get questions in, folks. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time. We got 1 hour of Rick today, and that time is coming up shortly.
14 more minutes. 14. Come on now. Get him in.
Well, okay. So, yeah, but on the back of that, we're talking about Frank Warren being the better promoter, the better this, the better that. But check it out, peeps, this, Rick. When the numbers came back for both the shows, for the DAZN show, I mean the Matchroom show versus the Frank Warren show, Hearn buried, absolutely buried Queensbury Promotions. What say you?
Apples and oranges again. Okay, Sky TV in the UK is mainstream. BT Sports is not mainstream yet. So you're talking about apples and oranges. Not a fair comparison. It'd be like over here, Impact TV compared to ESPN. Same thing. Impact does boxing, but it's not a mainstream network. So you're comparing apples and oranges. Not a fair comparison.
Apples and oranges, not a fair comparison. That's why Frank Queensbury Promotions got their ass kicked. Okay, so let us move on swiftly. About 13 minutes left. Okay, so Roy Jones says the California State Athletic Commission cannot control Mike Tyson. I have to be ready for war.
That's a lot of salesmanship. Come on. That's a lot of salesmanship. It's an exhibition. You know, nobody's going to hurt anybody here. What do you think? Tyson's going to come flying across the ring and be Mike Tyson, fight Michael Spinks or Carl and Truth Williams or back in the day? Not going to happen. Roy's not that kind of guy. Mike's not going to be mad at Roy. Mike smoked so much pot. He might think that Roy's a purple elephant, for Christ's sakes. Who knows? But nothing's going to happen wacky. So I don't see it.
Okay. It's going to be all cool in the gang. No ear biting this time, please. Leo Williams. Showtime main event peaked at 209,000 viewers and averaged 150K.
Bad. That's bad. Okay, that's horrible. Okay, especially for a world title fight on a mainstream premium station in America, that's bad. Okay, a world title fight. Jesus, that was on a Saturday night too. ESPN did almost twice as that with Maloney and Franco in the middle of the week. Bad, very bad.
So what's happening over there at Showtime? What's happening over there at Showtime? What it don't, you know, something must be wrong.
I don't know. Their marketing's a little suspect. Number one, they got to do a better job of promoting their own product. They don't do a great job. Fox does a good job of promoting their own product, but Showtime doesn't. That's what it is.
Showtime does not. Okay, we've got a few minutes left with Rick, so let's get through these. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Versus Omar Chavez on September the 25th.
The two brothers are fighting one another? No. That can't.
Are they brothers? Hold on. Let me have another look. Hold on. Uno momento. Oh, sorry. My bad. Chavez versus Ark the third versus Julio Chavez Jr. Versus Omar Chavez. That seems.
I don't know anything about it. It just probably happened, but I will say that Chavez is barred from fighting in the United States indefinitely. And if he starts fighting in Mexico, he'll never be able to fight in the United States because what's the name? Keep him on suspension. Nevada for the Peds. So.
Yes. Okay, we got a couple minutes to go. Where are we? Which one do we want? What do we like? Hearn says Cheeseman versus Eggington is one of the best fights I've seen live. I'd love to see it again.
I think Sam Eggington's getting worse every fight. He takes too many punches. He's in too many wars, and I think they need to leave that alone. And he needs to move on, and Cheeseman move on, and maybe Sam Eggington finding a different way to make a living. At least on Saturday nights.
Yes, I agree. There was a lot of talk about how great the fight was, but all I saw was it was like a high level pub brawl. I've heard it described as a pub brawl. I say, well, if it was a pub brawl, it was a high level one, but no, that's not how that's not how it's supposed to be. You're not supposed to be beating each other's brains out. You're supposed to have some evasive skills, presumably. Where are we now? Anthony Joshua says, I told Fury, if we get the fight together, don't worry about Usyk. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Does it mean Usyk gets X'd out, or does it mean Joshua's going to take care of Usyk? I don't know which way that one goes.
Eddie be responsible for that because it's Usyk's fighter. So, yeah, if they got all four belts on the line, I think the fight's going to happen. Usyk's going to be pacified. What they'll probably do, this is what I can see doing, that they make the fight. The winner will give up the WBO belt so they can do the rematch. So Usyk can go on his way. But this way, they fight for the undisputed championship. It sounds bigger. It sounds better and bigger and better. Gives up the title, and they can still fight for the unified title after that. And just the way it's probably going to go down. I can see this now. There's no money in fighting Usyk. That's the problem. He doesn't bring anything to the table that nobody's saying, oh, I can't wait to see Usyk fight Joshua or Fury. Nobody's saying that. Everybody wants to see Wilder get this out of the way. Fury get Wilder out of the way. And everybody wants to see Joshua get Pulev out of the way. Let the two winners fight 3 times. If Fury wins both fights or Joshua wins both fights, there's no third fight. I just see them fighting 3 times, and they're not going to let putts like Usyk stand in the way who can't draw 5 cents. Doesn't make any sense. You don't stop the biggest heavyweight fight of all time for Usyk. Leave it at that.
100%. 100%. And with that, coming up to the hour now. So, and with that, we have to say thank you to Rick Glaser, shooting off to an appointment. Anybody who didn't come in here early, it's your fault. You'll have to catch the replay. Rick Glaser. Oh, I'd have to say, all of Rick Glaser's details can be found beneath in the description box. And it's been a good one. It's been a fast one, but Rick Glaser, much appreciation to you.
To be honest with you, I'm a little concerned about Red Glove Militant because I haven't seen him on Twitter recently. He wasn't on the show here last week with any questions. Not again. And the COVID virus is raging in Florida. So I'm very concerned about our man, Red Glove Militant. So if wherever you are, hit me up on Twitter. If you're hearing this or seeing this or you're doing a replay, let me know you're all right, because speaking for Raphie and myself, we are concerned.
We are very concerned. We are very concerned. Red Glove Militant, wiggle your toes. Okay, Rick, so it's been week 17, and I don't think we've missed a week yet.
No, I didn't want to miss a week today. I have a retirement, like I explained to you, and I want to tell all the, I have a retirement party my wife and I are invited to, and we starts at 6 o'clock. Got to jump in the shower, get over there right now. I wish I could be on the whole time today, but it's not possible. And I'm the kind of guy, I look for excuses to be on a show, not to be off the show. So I love talking to boxing fans, answering questions with my being truthful, candid, upfront, quick. And, I don't think about when I answer questions, I don't think about them. I just answer for the brain. Okay. And that's just the way I am. And I'll always be that way, so always here, Raph. I can't wait till next Wednesday, 4 o'clock, 9 o'clock over there, 4 o'clock here, 1 o'clock on the West Coast, 3 o'clock Central Time over here, 2 o'clock Mountain Time. We got it all figured out, Raph. For you, man, my man.
Okay, that's fantastic. Rick Glaser, much appreciation. I'll be catching you on Twitter and other forms of social media. That was Rick Glaser, folks. Much appreciation to Rick Glaser. And so we did it. We did it in record time. It was a quick one, but we still got it in. Okay, so I may go live in an hour's time. I may go live again in an hour's time. There's some more things to chop up. And so what else is there for me to say other than much appreciation to Rick Glaser? His details are in the description box. Much appreciation to all of you guys and gals who popped in. And look for me look for me in an hour's time to go live again with some different topics. Okay, much appreciation. It's the Raphael Dawkins, it's the Combat Radio, it's the like, it's the subscribe, it's the comments, it's the shares, and it is the hitting that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget about the live shows, Boxing Talk with Raphie, Monday, Wednesdays, and some Fridays at 9 p.m. UK time, UK, 4 p.m. on the East, and 1 p.m. over there on the West. But in the meantime, all that's left for me to say is blessed.